Hi, I'm Grey Tiger, and welcome to Christmas in Lustria, another modding stream for Warhammer 3's upcoming mod, the Medallion of Chaqua. So today, just thought for an hour or so that we'd just do a little bit of work on a couple of UI elements that I've decided to change, and see if we can fit them into the XML templates and get them to appear in game. So for anybody out there who's interested in how Warhammer 3 modding can work, if you're creating new UIs, then perhaps you'll pick up something today. So starting off, this is the screen we're working on today, and this screen is used when you want to teleport your armies between different points on the map. Now the teleportation is somewhat limited in that firstly you must have 8 fragments of the medallion and a geomantic gem socketed in that medallion for teleporting to become available, and secondly you can only teleport between known points. And what I mean by known points is you can only teleport between locations where fragments of the medallion, have been found. Suddenly feeling very very phlegmy. It's always the way. So this screen previously did not have. Let's revert it to its former state. So the screen was previously just the map and those 2 buttons in the top right hand corner. Now I realized I need to add a indicator here to the player so that they can determine how long is left before the portal can be activated and how long the portal will remain open for. So you can't tell that from the screen as it stands. So today we're going to be adding in just a few things to make the screen a little bit more interesting and to give us access to an area where we can show how long is left before the portal can be activated and how long you have left before the portal will close. Now, an interesting thing about the teleportation that I'm planning on creating for this mod is you can teleport, well, I'm planning to have it so you can teleport any army to one of the destination locations. But once you've teleported that army, it will be automatically drawn back to its original starting location when the timer for the portal closes. So it's basically the energies of the medallion fade, and you get pulled back to Lustria or the Southlands or wherever you may have started. So anyway, let's get working on getting the new screen into the game, shall we? Alright, so the first step is I'm going to want to save this as a new file. In where do I want to save it? Save it in here, and we need it to be a PNG, and I don't want to override the old one at this point, so let's just create a new one. We'll call this Medallion Teleportation Map or something. Medallion Portal Map. That should work out fine if I can remember how to spell map. Okay, Alright, and now let's go into the editor and let's change this so that that comes into the files that we're using for the game. So it's going to be under UI. I'm trying to remember where I put it now. It's not campaign UI, it's not event pics. I think it's under culture, lism and backgrounds. There we go. So that's what's currently there. We want to add a new version. Actually, first of all, let's rename the current one so we don't completely wipe it out. So we'll rename that to old, and then we'll bring the new one in. And we don't want those. Where is it? It's in progress. Lizardman bin. It should be down the bottom. That's not it. What did I say that as? Medallion portal map. There we go. Okay, so that's the new version. How does that look? Oh, I can see a problem with it already. I'm surprised I didn't spot it when I was working on it in this screen. I wanted to get rid of this overlapping part here. So let's move this across and then delete. Once I've got the right layer. It's not that layer. It's going to be, nope, not that layer, or that one. That's the layer I want. So I want to delete the little bit that's protruding over the edge. Has that fixed it? Let's get out the magnifying glass. That's better. So you may be wondering, why did I grab a magnifying glass and not just zoom in? Or sometimes when I zoom in, I lose the fidelity. So, right, so we've saved that. Let's re-import it. So get rid of that. And then bring the modified file back in. And we need to call it large map. Okay, so first off, we're not going to change any code. We're just going to see how this looks in the game with nothing put in place. So let's run Warhammer 3. Let's turn my volume down so I don't kill everybody's eardrums with the volume from the game. Okay, here we go. I wish I could get this cap, there we go, cap back on. Alright, so let's load up the Medallion of Chaqua. And we'll load this save. So over the past couple of days, I've implemented a persistence mechanism, so you can save your save the state of the medallion and the different spawning pools and what tablets you have, and then load them back in. So we are loading a save which takes place on turn 3, I believe, where a couple of the spawning pools are active, where I've claimed just one of the fragments, and I have, I think, 2 tablets. Old Man TFE, hey, how you going, mate? You've been working on this mod for how long? At least a year? Off and on, yeah, the planning stages started about a year ago, I would say, yes. And then I started working on the UI. Then I took a break, a long break, because I stepped away from the game for a while. Then I came back, started working on it, and then I took another long break of 3 months when Satisfactory 1.0 came out. And now I'm back at it again. So progress has been slow, but there is progress. And that's basically what I care about at the moment. That I'm going forwards and not backwards. Okay, alright, so that's how those things are going to look overlaid. Let's get rid of the timer on the far left. That won't be there any longer. Okay, so I'm going to need to resize the buttons. Because these two buttons are now incorrectly sized. I'm going to need to change their location as well. And then I'm going to need to actually portal timer. I'm going to need to change its location as well. So let's move this portal timer element first of all. So it's moved to relative. I'll turn down the gain volume. And it's a vector we're playing with. So 2 vector. And then where do we want it? We want it to be... Oh, how large is the screen? I think the screen's about 1200, so let's try 1150. And on the Y scale, let's try 150. And let's see where the element ends up. Okay, we've gone off the edge of that screen a little bit, and we've ended up in the middle of no man's land. What programs do you need to do UI stuff? I'm guessing it's not just RPFM. For my UI, I do it all in Photoshop. Number is it? It's an old version of Photoshop. Photoshop 7. And I also use things like Grok to create some AI images, which I then tweak. But I also use a lot of elements that are in the game. So a lot of elements that were used in the Warhammer 2 for the Lizardmen, I take those and tweak those. I mean, because you undoubtedly recognize, these borders here as Lizardman borders. So, but Photoshop 7 is primarily what I use. Okay, so I went too far across there to the right. So 1150 is much too much. Let's shave about 300 off. Make that 850. And we're getting close. Let's try 800. Very close. Let's make that 810. Okay, I think 810 should do it there. 150 is too much, so let's trim that down to 100. We're getting quite close now. Trim that down to 90. I think we're on the right height level. Let's take a little bit off this. Change this to 808. I think we have it. Let's just change the value here. Maybe 807 is better. And maybe down 1 to 91. See if I just put that off screen, and then if I put it back on screen, yeah, it's pretty much in the right spot. Oh man, teeth. Oh, sorry. Oh man, yeah, teeth. I was trying to give Snickage his Zarkan Whispers UI effect, but I couldn't find it in the Lua files. I searched everywhere. It must be activated somewhere else in the code. Snickage, his Zarkan Whispers UI effect. It's been an awfully long time since I played with Snickage. I cannot even remember what that effect does. But not in the lure. It could be using some really obscure name. I mean, I've noticed in the lure code that there's little consistency in naming conventions, and you can clearly see that many different people have worked on it with many different styles. Seems like they don't really have, or haven't in the past at least, had somebody who just sat there and went over everything that was added to make sure that it was all consistent. But then again, I'm not always consistent, and I'm just one person doing the works. Perhaps consistency is overrated. When you kill Malice Darkblade in Vortex Campaign, Snickage gets to steal his demon, Zarkan. And then Zarkan's Whispering Y effect, Purple Smoke and Whispering, transfers from Malice to Snickage. Ah! Okay, well, I can't say I ever earned that. Interesting. I don't know what to say. I don't know where you might be able to find it. But it certainly sounds like the sort of thing that happens in the lure. Okay, so we discovered that we need X of 807 and a Y value of 91. So let's open up the XML code for that window, and we want to go to Medallion map window, and it's a portal timer. And my brain, I've already forgotten what it was. 807 and 91. 807 and 91. Okay. So we changed this value, 807. We changed this value, 91. And then that should be in the correct position when we next load up the game. Anything else that needs to change there? The size is not changing, so that's okay. The initial image that we're using is not changing, so that's okay. And we don't want to mess around with the GUIDs, because that's a recipe for disaster. Because if you screw up a GUID, then you could world of hurt. Okay, so that looks okay. So what else do we need to do now? We need to change the position and size of these buttons. So let's find out what size they are in Photoshop. So let's see, we need to get that. Okay, so let's find that file. The green, there we go. Alright, so this is the file that we're using, I think. So this comes from where? Button round large active. Let's just make sure that's the one we're using in code. So for button accept, we are using components, campaign UI, button teleport. Alright, let's have a look at button teleport. What was it? Campaign UI. That's up here. Oh no, that's effect bundles. Components, campaign UI. Different. Button teleport. Okay, so that's just the icon. Alright, so the actual underlying button we're just inheriting from... no, that's the spawning pool window. Wrong one. We're just inheriting from the default button round medium pressed. Okay. Which means that that button we've got is going to be too large. We need to find a better sized button. So button round medium pressed. Let's have a look in the default folder. Oh. So let's look in the default folder of the game files, and we want to look for button round medium, which is not those. Button round HUD, button round LMMMM. Okay, so we're using that size, and I've used that size on my mock-up in Photoshop. So what we need to do is either change the mock-up or change what we're using in the code. Let's go to Photoshop for a moment and see how this will look if we're using a smaller button. So let's go to this, let's hide the buttons. Oh, that's not a button. That's a button. That's not. That is. Probably best if I name them button. Button 2. Button 1. Let's put large on the end of it so we can tell when we bring in the other new ones. Large. Okay, and then let's hide those two. And then bring in what was it using? It was using button medium. Button medium active is what we want. Button medium active. Button round medium underlay. Button round medium active. There we go. Don't know why I didn't see that sooner. Okay, let's grab that. So we want these now on here instead. So we've got to kind of position those so they look better. They might end up being too small. And let's move this one across. Let's see, is that gap okay? Let's say they look evenly spaced and they look like they're in the middle or quite close to. Maybe just a tad across to the right. And then on the first one as well, maybe one across. Oman T. When you are typing stuff into the XML, what language is that? In here, well, it's just an XML file, so it is XML, extendable markup language. It's nothing really special to it. You just need to know what XML elements the game engine can work with. So basically, what I did was I took a look at a couple of the screens that are in game, and I basically took them apart piece by piece, so I could figure out what the bare minimum I needed to have a button was, or the bare minimum I need to put an image in place. Because if you look at the XML files for the screens in the game, a lot of elements have a huge number of properties, which are not so much superfluous, but are not always needed. And I believe that they're using some third-party in-house tool, which is creating all of those extra properties. Because I very much doubt that they're going into the XML files and doing it by hand. As a rule, if they were, that would be very inefficient for them. Actually, it might explain why it seems to take them so long to make the DLCs these days. So maybe they are going in there and doing it by hand. So could I use a context viewer to look at Zarkan smoke and then track it to the XML file? Does the smoke show up during a battle, or is it on the campaign map? It's been so long since I've looked at Zarkan. Is it in the battle or on the campaign map? Campaign map. Yes, you should be able to do that. Actually, why don't we have a quick look now? I'll close that screen off for a moment, because we need to make some changes anyway. And did I just... No, I quit the whole game. I didn't mean to do that. I just meant to quit out of that save file. Let's have a look. Let's turn my mod off, just in case anything funny happens with Zarkan. Let's see what we can find out. So I didn't mean to distract you too much from your mod, but I have 0 experience on UI, so it's interesting learning from you. Okay. No, it's not a problem. If we can figure out where that UI element's coming from. It means how that's basically how I figured out how to do a couple of things that I'm doing in the Medallion. So it should be interesting. It's always nice to learn new things. Okay, so we need Malice Darkblade. So
Sigmar's will.
Dark Elves.
I seek my birthright.
Shut up, demon!
Right, if you boot up a Malice campaign, the smoke will eventually pop up, but it can take 60 seconds at a minimum and 8 minutes at a maximum. Okay, so what, you just, so if I just leave it sitting there on the first turn, then it should crop up during that time. Let's see what we get. When it loads in, that is. Okay, let's go.
I will murder anyone to get what I must.
Okay. Okay, so does the smoke... yes, 90% of the time it procs every 60 seconds, but rarely I've noticed it can take much longer than 60 seconds. So is it something that will appear around Malice? Alright, so we're looking for purple smoke. Will appear around the edges of your entire screen. You'll also hear a voice whispering to you. Okay, the edges of the entire screen. Alright, so the root is the entire screen. HUD campaign also has that, so it might be under HUD campaign. Let's see, anything that stands out as being Malice related. Nope, it's not that. Not seeing anything at the moment. I hope the fact that I have this open doesn't stop it from appearing. Vignette holder. It's not that, because that's too centered. So it's got to be something that's currently one of these, which is hidden. Oh, well, at least I would imagine so anyway. Anything on the panel manager? No, because that's not the edges of the screen. Just black fade. Nope, that's not it. We're getting lucky. It doesn't proc for a long time. 8 to 10 minutes maximum it can take. Okay. Let's put this in the middle of the screen then, since I know it's going to be the edges. And let's just have a look at clicking on every single item. So it's AI attack targets parent. I don't believe it's going to be that one. So let's just drill down onto it. No, okay. No, okay, it's not that. 3D UI parent. Maybe. But no, that's about settlement tags, so that's not it. So let's just hide that. Actually, I don't want to hide all of it. Mission indicator. I'm not even sure what that is. I don't see anything being highlighted. Character path icons. I try turning that on, it turns it off immediately. So I guess it's not that one. Watermark square. Nope. I still think it's got something to do with... maybe that. Well, that's interesting. And yet... I wonder if it's that. Let's have a look at what the image property is for that. Does that look... oh, okay. I very much doubt it does that in game, but does that look familiar? That colour? Possession or Zarkan. Where's this? Yeah, that might be it. UI skins, Warhammer 2, Malice Possession, Vignette, Flares. Yes. So, hang on, so this mouse over image. Is there anything else which has an image like that? No, not that. Could be this again. Nope. It's not HUD campaign because that's just a container. Yeah, so it's probably this guy. Don't know why it's not showing though, because it's showing as active here. So its normal size is that, so it obviously gets expanded to get displayed. Okay, so you're gonna go do a search on the actual Malice Possession vignette base and see what crops up. Yep, not a problem. Not a problem. Alright, let's exit out. How would that smoke be activated? I don't know. I can perhaps run a check though. Let's have a look in the source code, see if I can find anything. Find in files. We want to look for what was it? I need to find the name of that file. I need to go to UI. Thank you. So we're looking for malice underscore possession. Malice underscore possession vignette. Oh, and I don't see it. Maybe I spelled possession wrong. No, I think I spelled that okay. Okay, let's just go malice underscore star underscore vignette. Nope, it's not finding anything. Okay. Oh, let's just leave it at malice underscore. Okay, so we've got not that. Square active. Hover. Button active. There we go. Oh. Possession is 2 S's, isn't it? Possession. They misspelt it. They spelt it with 3 S's instead of 4. Okay, the vignette they've misspelt, and then the one underneath it where they spelt possession, they spelt it correctly. As a matter of fact, all the other ones that have possession look like... Oh no, half of them are spelt correctly and half of them are not. That's typical CA. Okay, so we're looking for possession with 1 S. Vignette base. So let's go to where this is. That's the one. So what's the path of that? Open with... Oh no, let's drag it into Photoshop. Alright, so it's in Warhammer 2. Okay. Malice possession with 1. I need ultra edit so I can search all the files. Malice underscore POSSESION. And I'll just leave it at that for now. And let's see what we find. So this is looking through all of the game Lua files up until the 5.0 release. So if it's in there, it should be in this lot. Hopefully we find something. We didn't get anything. Okay. Why is that? Okay, might be because it's only done in the XML. So let's have a look in different folder. So we want modding, Warhammer 3, game files, version 5, UI, and templates. Okay, and we'll select that folder and do the same search. And it didn't come up with anything in there either. Yeah, so we know the folder it appears in the UI folder for the skins, but I'm just trying to see if they reference it in the Lua files. So I wonder how would they tell it to trigger? How would they tell it to trigger? Let's go version 5, back to the script. Select folder. Maybe they spelt it correctly correctly in there. Find all. Come on. Nope, didn't find anything again. Maybe they're not using underscores. Let's just find malice. Is it possible it's being handled somewhere we can't see, like the C++? Yeah, that's certainly possible. I wouldn't put it past them to have that happening there. But let's not give up quite yet. So there should be a file which is handling most of Malice's stuff, because I noticed the DLCs from Warhammer 2 seem to do that fairly often. So let's see if we can find stuff from Malice. DLC 14 Malice. Okay, so what have we got here? Adds favor for him. We don't care about that. Dilemma choice made. Dilemma triggered. Ritual completed. Dilemma event. It just happens at random, so I wonder. No, I'm not seeing anything there. Malice sanity. Is it related to his sanity? Suppose it might be. What have we got? Sanity listeners. Turn start actions. Script event human faction turn start. Yes, if his sanity is low, by drinking potions the whispers don't happen. Okay, so we want to see something about high sanity. Or insanity, as it were. It's not going to be battle completed. It's also DLC 14 Malice Sanity. And DLC 14 Zarkan Whisper. Okay. Sanity UI trigger. UI trigger. This seems like it could be the one. Update effects for faction. Self-update effects. So it's calling a method there. So remove effect bundles. Oh, okay. So that's engine effects, not UI effect. That's engine effects. Those are all engine. That's engine. Self-update UI, which is here. Okay, well, this is promising. So it's getting the root. Sanity UI is get UI key, which is probably going to be up there. What line is this? 286. We jump up. UI key. Possession orb. Okay, that's not what we were looking at. 286. I thought we were onto something for a second then. If sanity and sanity UI interface function, I don't know what that is. Update display. Not sure. Around the UI of the potion he drinks. Let's have a look at the other file of. You said there's another file of his. Zarkan's Whispers file. Okay, anything to do with VFX? Nope. Adding Zarkan's Whispers listener. Okay, so in the factions, on the turn start, if the faction is human and it's Zarkan's faction, attempt to trigger mission. Nothing UI. No. No, you would think it would be there, but No, I'm afraid I can't see anything at the moment. Interface function documentation says this. Calls an interface function on the UI component by string name. Interface functions are provided by some UI components to allow the script to activate specific functionality related to the UI component. Along with the string name of the interface function, multiple arguments to pass that function may be specified. Okay, well, thanks for checking. If you can't find it, it's probably not findable in the C. Actually, that interface function method sounds like it might be changing something to do with that element. Where was that call? Where the hell was that? Was that in this file or the previous file? This file. So update display. Update display elixir cost current. Well, that's just going to be a... That's a number, so that's not it. Yeah, previous file. It's not an event. I don't think it's calling any VFX. I don't see any calls to VFX, which might be another way they are doing it. Is this interface function... Let's see if I can find this. Search, find in files. See if I can find the actual method. But it might be a C++ one. Auto run campaign, monster hunt, start lure. It's called by a few different people. Blood grounds, UI battle libraries, help page. Hang on. If it's a function, it's going to have this ahead of it. If it's a lure function. No, that doesn't return anything. Sorry. I might be able to figure it out if I spent a while digging into it, but just from a cursory look, it's not obvious. So yeah, like you said, it's a bit of a mystery as to how that's happening for Malice. But at least now, at least you know the UI element that's involved. So that's something. Alright, let's jump back to. Let's go remove that. Don't need that. Let's go back to the medallion. So I've put those two buttons in place there. So let's save this file and then import it into here. So I'm deleting that. And then we're going to bring it back in with the modifications. So that's that one. And then let's rename it. And that was map large, I think it was. Okay. All right. Hang on, what did I just do? I thought I just... Did I not save it? Because that's using the wrong one. That's not right. Okay, that's the new... Oh, I saved the PSD file, not the PNG. Okay. My mistake. Bin... PNG, and then we need to save it again. Right, that one. And let's just rename this. Oh no, let's not rename that. Okay, that should be the correct correct one now. So we're going to add file, and there it is. That's better. So let's. I should have probably just left it as large map, but too late now. Okay, so with that in place, let's see if we can position the buttons correctly. Install, install, and then I need to remember to activate my mod. Mod manager. Where's my stuff? There it is. Okay. Yeah, it's a shame we can find out where that was getting activated. So what were you, I think you might have told me already, but what were you planning on using that for? It was for Snickage. I think you said at the beginning. Trying to give Snickage his Zarkan Whispers UI effect, but I couldn't find it in the Lua files. Okay. Well, now that you've got the path of the file that's involved, you know, you could have some Lua code. I'm sure there must be a function you can use that would trigger that. In Victory Conditions Overhaul, I restored the Vortex campaign to Snickage. Okay, okay. Alright, campaign. No. Alright, back in. But the one thing I couldn't figure out was how to restore... was transferring the Whispers UI effect to Snickage, because I could never find how CA was even activating this effect. Yeah. Yeah, some things I've tried to do. I've gone looking in the Lua, thinking it would be in there, it would be and would be fairly obvious, but sometimes you just come up short. No matter how many Lua files you look at. Okay, back to the Medallion. So let's open this up. Oh, the buttons are not too far off where they need to be. That's good. Let's position them there. I wonder if, just out of curiosity, I wonder if that vignette is there. Okay. Right, so you can see running, who is this I'm playing against? Mazda Mundi. That vignette is not underneath the vignette holder. So it must be added as what? Oh, I know where it might be. I wonder if Zarkan has an XML file that details how his toolbar on the top of the screen works. Because I have an XML file for mine, so I wonder if Zarkan has one, and if as part of that XML file, it's also adding something to the vignette holder. Possibility. Let's close that. So I want this guy, and let's move that so I can see the screen. Oh no, that's the wrong one. I don't want the Medallion screen. I want the... Oh no, that was the right one. Medallion map screen. So we've got the timer in the right place now. So I need to shift where that button is. So it's just Just a case of doing the same thing as we did previously. So move to relative. And then it's a vector when moving. Now what's its current position? Because I don't want to wildly throw it off. So its current relative position is... what? Its current relative position is 872 by 31. And it looks like we need to go up 2 pixels, and to the left maybe 7. So let's try 865 and 29. 865 and 29. Let's see what that gives us. I think that's the right spot. Let's just try 860. No, let's try 28. I think that's better. I think that's better, but I also think I prefer the larger buttons. Yeah, I think the larger buttons looked better. We just do one side by side, so let's do button 2 large. Because just looking at the icon that's on that button, unless the X fits okay, that one looks a bit squished. Yep, alright. I'm going to get rid of the medium-sized button, and we're going to put in the large-sized button. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. Let's see what. Okay, so I checked in Audio Editor, and all the sound files for Game 3 are still there. So everything is in place to restore it easily, except the actual way to trigger it. Maybe I could make my own effect, but I wouldn't know what lure command to use to proc the smoke, and what lure command to proc the whispering sound effect. I think I remember he did. I'll try and find it out. Also, could you please turn down your in-game sound by... Oh, sorry. I realised it was up that loud. I'll turn it right down. Dead Baron, hi, how you going? Merry Christmas. I hope your day is going well. Or evening, if you're still on... I don't know if it's Christmas Eve for many people now. Alright, so we're getting rid of the little buttons and putting in 2 large buttons. So we need to save this, save the PNG file. Which is in here. Here. Okay, and then we need to re-import that, so we need to get rid of that and open up the one we just changed, which is this. Might just actually leave the name and change the XML file to match. So Medallion map window, one of the first things it does is the background, so we want to change the image for what has the image that doesn't have it? Panel background, there we go. So instead of large map, it's called, what did I call that? Medallion portal map. Okay, alright, so we need to go down to the bottom to those buttons, and we need to change the type of button they are. So they're currently using medium-sized buttons. Now, are we controlling their size there? We've set the dimensions to 56 by 56. So what size should the large size buttons be? If we look at this, image size 63 by 63. Okay. Let's go back in here. Let's change this guy. So its dimensions should be 63 by 63. I'll change them one at a time. I'll leave the offsets that alone. None of the states will change. None of the callbacks will change. The default icon we can leave alone. We now just need to change these from round medium to round large. And then make sure that there are actually files named for all of those 5 states. So let's just quickly have a look in the default folder. I don't need that search anymore. Right, so we are looking in UI skins default, and we want to find button round large. BS, button higher, button round large. Okay, and we need large pressed, large hover. Right, there's large active, yep. Large hover, yes. Large inactive, large pressed, and large underlay, which I'm not seeing. Might be blind, but I'm not seeing underlay. Button round large selected, selected pressed, and then it goes into button medium. If I look at the button medium, okay. So it looks like the button medium underlay has a border around it. So I'm going to need an underlay here that has a border around it. I don't know if there is one. I don't want to use the selected. Maybe I just leave it at button medium and hope that it resizes it for me to the correct size, and it doesn't look too out of sorts. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's run that again. That shouldn't have caused any issues. Let's catch up on chat, sorry. Doom T-Suit. Sorry, I think I mispronounced that horribly. Merry Christmas, how are you going? Dead Baron, going on 1 AM here. Okay. Well, it's 5 PM for me on Christmas Day. 4 PM for Old Man T. Dead Baron. Some buttons don't exist. Yes, it seems that that one unfortunately eludes me. So let's hope that it's going to play nicely using the medium one. It should do. And it's the underlay anyway, so it probably doesn't get displayed very often. Dead Baron, we couldn't find... Oh, sorry. Might need to make one. Possibly. Hopefully not. Dead Baron, we couldn't find how Zarkon Purple Smoke and Whispers effect on campaign procs. Would you know? If you have some idea, that would be very helpful. Let's get a little bit of sound. Okie dokie dokie. Alright, so this time it should have the map with the 2 green buttons, and I just need to position... Well, I've only put 1 button in, but just position that correctly. Like the VFX, honestly, I don't think so. Okay. Alright, let's see what we got. I didn't crash, that's something. Hey! Oh, hang on, that's not fair. I made it a large button. It shrunk it. Button round large. Okay, was there something else on the size that I didn't change? Am I inheriting from something that's got its dimensions stuck? Because some buttons you can't resize. Ah, template ID. Stupid me, I've got the wrong one. I need button large or round large button template, which I'll need to make sure exists, because if it doesn't have that, that might have been why I used small buttons in the first place. Where do I find that? That will be in game files, version 5, UI, templates, button. Okay, it's not in this list. Or is it? What was it? Round large, round medium. I was using. I need round large. There we go. It is a valid template. May as well go ahead and change the other one actually, since we're in here. So it's round large, 63 by 63, and change those. So it's round large, 63 by 63, and let's change these. No, that's not how you spell large. And that one was staying as medium. I'm gonna have to do this. Are either of you in my server? In your Discord? No. Sorry, I didn't realise you had one, Dead Baron. Skeleton Crew. Okay. My server, I made modders only, and we help each other out. Okay, that sounds good. That's nice. Pack file, save pack file. Pack file, uninstall, reinstall. The number of times I've pressed those menu items, I don't know. A lot less than what I did with Warhammer 2, though. The fact that you've got that little tool inside Warhammer 3 where you can shift things about in real time makes it so much easier. Isn't there already a big modding server? Yes. I think it's called the Modding Den. It's last time I looked at it, it's massive. There's so many things in there. Sometimes it can be difficult to keep up. Right. Okay. I'm almost through my whole bottle of water. How many liters? What's that? 750 milliliters. Not bad. What? Apart from this UI thing, what the hell was I going to do? Oh, that's right, there's another UI element I wanted to add in as well. Hopefully I can get this one sorted very quickly. The hell? Why is that button all the way over there? Why? Actually, what button is that? It doesn't look like one of my buttons. My buttons are not so unruly. That's my two buttons. Why it's placed them over there, I don't know. Round large button. Choosing button inactive. So it's ignoring that underlay one and using this instead. Spiral diaphragm, so I guess that's the underlay for a large button. Figure it out for itself. So. I don't know why it's not using my image. I tell it to use a certain image. Why didn't it? Oh, I'll worry about that later. Let's just worry about putting it in the right position first of all. And then I'll fix the image later. So, relative position. Is it the same? What's the relative? Yeah, I've got it selected. That's the image. Vector 4 dimensions, vector 4 dot offset. So zeros. Okay, it looks like the round large button behaves differently than the round medium. Because it does not seem to have... Oh no, there it is. Although it doesn't seem to have an absolute position, it's only got the relative. Oh, relative to vector. What's the far across is that? Maybe let's try that at 50 and put it down 60. Way too far. 850. 854 and 50. That's not enough. 20, 25. Let's have it go across one. 55 and 26. Right, maybe 27. Yeah, that's centered enough for my liking. Fix the icon later. So the other one. Oh! I just realised why it's just showing this default icon and why they were in the wrong place. I think I renamed their key, so my code can't find them. Because these should be the actual names of the components, not both the same. Alright, what position did I put that in? 855 and 27, so the other one is going to be something in 27. That's what we're going to be about. Let's say 895 and 27, not quite enough. 925, 27. Not quite. Let's go 930. Yep, that'll do. Alright, so we've got 855, 27 and 930, 27. Alright, so button cancel is 930. 27. And this one is 855. And 27. And now Y. Okay, no, I didn't rename the key. Or the ID. I renamed the template. But for some reason, I didn't like the fact that I renamed that. So there's something unique around the large button. Maybe there's a property I'm using which doesn't exist on it. Alright, for now I'm just going to put them back to mediums. Because unfortunately I don't have the time to play around with it. So I have to actually get out in the garden and mow the lawn. I've had a sunny day today, so grass should be dry enough. And I can just worry about the tweaking of this later. It's interesting to see this. My modding is usually art or unit based, rarely scripts. Yeah, like that's a complete inverse of mine, because, well, of course I do the art stuff too for the UIs, but I'm terrible with units. I need to learn how to do the unit stuff. Actually, Dead Baron, you might know how to do this. So I've got a question here. I've got just one moment. Say that. So I've got in this mod. I close that window. Do it the other way because it's not recognizing my button. Alright. So I've got units in this that are being spawned from these special spawning pools, where you define what tablets are going to be used, and that tells it what effects will be used as bonuses for those units. So I've got icons, so their unit cards are slightly different, but I also want to make the units on the battlefield a different color. Do you have any idea how to change the shading for a unit of Saurus Warriors, or for any unit? What do I want to test out? Is it a new unit, or are you using an existing? There are multiple ways. At the moment, I'm using an existing unit variant. Just go to my database. So currently, for the unit variants, I'm just using the existing variant, but if you need to change, if you have to have a new variant to do it, that's no biggie. That's no big deal. So make a new unit variant. Okay. Let's just open up one where I did that. RPFM. File. Open recent. Let's open the Hammer of Grugny. Cute. So if I look in my DB for that, I did have variants. Look for unit variant colors. Okay, so that's an extra table. Okay. So open up the actual database then. The game version. Unit variant colors, you say. Let's see what we got. Unit variant tables, unit variant color tables. Okay, yep. Might not need to make a new unit. Your database is below at the bottom left. Game files. Alright, so if I can find, let's find a lizardman unit in this. I need the key to be unit variant. And let's find Saurus. Okay, so you've got your basic and you've got your blessed. So primary color. So you need to add the Saurus. Okay. So this, do you know what this primary color here, where that's displayed? Is that, you know, that's not the actual skin color, is it? Or is that a battle thing? Basically add the variant from unit variants. Okay. Primary, oh, it's a mask, okay. Primary is the red channel on the mask. Okay, so since I'm not much into textures and stuff, I'll need to do a little bit of reading on masks. Okay, cool. So I'll just make a note of that. So the primary, what was it called? Color hex. So is the, do you say red channel? Mask. No, I don't want. Not change the whole texture so much as make the Saurus and any of the units that are spawned from these different pools a different shade of green or shade of orange or whatever, you know, whatever the case they might have been. So I mean, let's open up a unit in game. Start this, and let's just open up a custom battle, so maybe I can explain what I'm thinking. So we want battle, skirmish, select my race, lizardman. What lord do I want? Let's take Broca, let's take... Yeah, that's a decent enough mix. So... getting into what you primarily do. That's good. That's something I haven't tried. So let's, when that's loading up, let's just go back to this. So I've got different unit cards, which are, where are they? Not under skins, it's under units. So you can see the unit cards kind of desaturated. Kind of a, what do you call that effect? I've forgotten what they call it. But they're kind of beigey, so I would like to kind of have the creatures themselves kind of a beigey grey. I do have Discord. Do I not have Discord running? I can't remember if we've talked on Discord before. Yeah, let me start up my Discord. Where is it? There it is. Are you in the list of people that I've chatted with. I don't think so. Oh. How do I join your channel? What's the name of your channel? That channel that you set up with modding people in? Dead Baron 22 was your name, was it? Add friend. Add. Is there an underscore in that? Yes. Okay. All right. I've got access to your Discord. All right. So when it comes time for me to do that, I can pester you if you're okay with that. So yeah, what I was hoping to do was maybe if we look at a group of Saurus, maybe change their colours so they're more of a, I don't know, maybe more of an olive grey, or maybe even something that stands out a bit more entirely, maybe a yellowish. I don't know what colour exactly. That's the term, sepia. Yeah, sepia tone to them. And it might be a little bit strange because they're all different colours to start with, but you know, actually they're not even one of the ones I change. Yeah. All right. Well, now that I know where it is, I can add a. They're blue scales. Look at the Saurus boys. Those are not Saurus. I went too far. Those are Saurus. Yes, the blue scales is the ones I'd be looking to change. I'm assuming the colours on their forehead, the headdress, is something completely different. And a different texture, I'd assume. For the scales, we need a whole new texture. Okay, alright. Well, in that case, I'll have... When the time comes, I'll have a bit of reading to do. Or I might just take the easy way out and just give them different icons above them in battle. I mean, you can teach me how to do that. Okay, all right. Well, that's a little ways down the track. I've still got to figure out all the database work for effects and all of that stuff. Where are we? Whilst I've got a good portion of my UI done, like the thing I was doing today was just going back and changing something that was just annoying me. Whilst I've got most of my UI stuff done, the big thing I've got left is the database effects and shit ton more Lua. But when it comes to doing the changing the colours of those, if I decide to do that instead of the icons, I'll reach out if that's all right. Thank you. Now, that's right. I was going to go out and do my lawn. It's getting quite overgrown, so I need to take care of it when I have the chance. So I'm gonna leave you all there, if that's all right. I hope everybody has a great Christmas Day and a great Boxing Day and New Year as well. Oh no, it was a pleasure to cover your mods in the past, Dead Baron. They're really good. Yeah, so as I was saying, I hope everybody has Merry Christmas and a great Boxing Day and New Year. If I don't come online before the New Year, which I may or may not, I don't know. But thank you everybody for dropping by. Thank you to those of you who took time out of your day to chat with me. Really much appreciated. Really appreciate it. But I'm going to love you and leave you. I'll catch you all later. Once I can figure out how to close the stream.